The battle was already over. Smoke still floated through the broken halls of the alien fortress, and the sound of distant fires echoed like slow breathing. Human soldiers moved carefully, weapons ready, checking corners and sealed doors. This place had once been powerful. Now it was silent. Commander Ethan Hawley walked at the front. He was tall, calm, and tired. His armor was scratched, darkened by ash, but his posture was steady. He had seen many victories before. None of them ever felt clean. Last chamber ahead, one soldier said, through the cum. Ethan nodded. Open it. The heavy metal doors slid apart with a deep mechanical sound. Inside the chamber, lights flickered weakly. Strange alien symbols glowed on the walls. At the center of the room, chains hung from the ceiling, thick, dark, and alive with faint energy. Someone was bound there. She was not small. The captive alien female stood taller than most humans, her frame powerful even in restraint. Her skin shimmered faintly, like polished stone under moonlight. Long dark markings ran across her arms and shoulder, signs of rank, not decoration. Her head was lowered, long silver hair falling forward. This is the last one, a soldier muttered. High-value target. Warrior caste. Ethan stepped closer. Most alien prisoners screamed, cursed, or begged in fear. This one did none of those things. She slowly lifted her head and looked at him. Her eyes locked onto Ethan's visor, not with hatred, not with panic, but with sharp focus. As if she was studying him. Ethan felt a strange chill. Name? He asked. The alien remained silent for a moment. Then she spoke, her voice low, strained, but clear. Of the 9th brood. Some soldiers tightened their grip on their weapons. The 9th brood was known. Dangerous, ruthless. Commander. A guard said quietly. Orders say high-rank captives like her are not to be kept alive. Ethan did not answer immediately. He looked at the chains, at the wounds on her arms, at the dried blood on the floor beneath her feet. She had fought hard before being captured. Why are you still alive? Ethan asked her. Keleth's lips curved slightly. Not a smile, something colder. Because they wanted me alive, she said. Until you arrived. The room felt heavier. Ethan studied her face. No tears, no shaking. Only tension held tight, like a blade not yet drawn. Then speak, Ethan said. You asked for me. Keleth took a slow breath. It looked painful. My kind does not beg, she said. But today, I will. Several soldiers shifted uncomfortably. Keleth lifted her chin and met Ethan's eyes again. Show mercy, human. She said, spare my life. Silence filled the chamber. Ethan had heard those words many times before, from pirates, warlords, even enemy commanders. They always begged out of fear. Her next words were different. My body, Keleth continued, voice steady despite the chains, will give you powerful offspring. The room froze. One soldier cursed under his breath. Another laughed in disbelief. Ethan did not react. Keleth kept speaking, her gaze unbroken. My species carries rare genetic strength, intelligence, adaptation. Those born from us do not weaken, they improve. Ethan raised a hand, stopping his soldiers from interrupting. You think that will save you? He asked calmly. No, Keleth said. I think it will interest you. Ethan frowned slightly. Your kind values survival of the future, she continued. You build, not only conquer. I have studied humans. That caught his attention. You studied us? He asked. Yes, she replied. Before this war. Before your fleets arrived faster than our sensors believed possible. There it was again, that strange calm respect in her voice. Keleth tightened her fists against the chains. If you kill me, she said, you lose what my race hides from the galaxy. If you spare me, you gain choice. Ethan stepped closer, stopping just a few feet from her. Choice? He repeated. To use me, she said honestly. Or not. That is what makes you different. Ethan stared at her for a long moment. He could see it now. She was not offering herself out of desire. She was offering value, strategy, survival, but there was something else behind her eyes. Not hope, curiosity, commander. The guard warned. This is manipulation. She's dangerous. Ethan nodded slightly. I know. He turned back to Keleth. You expect mercy, he said. But you speak like someone who does not believe in it. Keleth's voice dropped. In my empire, she said, mercy does not exist. Only use or death. Ethan straightened. Well, he said quietly, then you're about to learn. Something new. The soldiers looked at him in shock. Ethan raised his hand again. Lower the execution order, he said. What? A soldier blurted out. Not remove, Ethan clarified. Lower. Keleth's eyes widened for the first time. You live, Ethan said to her. For now. Not because of your offer, but because I want answers. He turned to leave. As the doors began to close, Keleth spoke again, her voice softer, almost uncertain, human. Ethan paused but did not turn around. You have just made your species very dangerous. Ethan allowed himself a small, calm smile. We've been told that before. The cell was quiet. Soft white light filled the room. Clean and calm, very different from the dark fortress where Keleth had been captured. Energy restraints still held her wrists, but they were no longer painful. The chains were gone. Keleth sat on the edge of the containment platform, back straight, eyes moving slowly as she studied everything. This place was not a prison. That unsettled her more than chains ever had. Outside the transparent barrier, 2 human guards stood watch. They did not glare at her. They did not insult her. They barely spoke. Keleth had faced many enemies in her life. These humans were different. The door slid open with a soft sound. Commander. Ethan Hawley entered alone. He removed his helmet and set it aside. His face showed signs of long battles, small scars, tired eyes, but his expression was calm. Always calm. Keleth watched him carefully. You came, she said. I said I would. Ethan replied. He stopped a few steps away, keeping a respectful distance. You're not chained, he continued. That doesn't mean you're free. Keleth nodded once. I understand. There was a pause. Ethan activated a small holoscreen. Symbols and data floated between them, genetic maps, scans, ancient alien records. We ran tests, Ethan said. On your blood. Keleth's fingers tightened slightly. And? She asked. Ethan looked at the data. You weren't lying, he said. Your genetics are extreme, strength markers, neural density, adaptive response. He looked up at her. Your species could change the balance of power. Keleth exhaled slowly. In my empire, she said, we were created for that reason. We were never meant to choose. Ethan studied her face. You said your kind doesn't believe in mercy, he said. So why offer yourself instead of fighting to the death? Keleth's eyes lowered. Because I have already fought, she replied, and lost. She looked back up, but losing does not mean accepting erasure. Ethan leaned against the wall, arms crossed. You expect humans to act like your empire, he said. To use you. Keleth did not deny it. That is how power works, she said simply. Ethan shook his head slightly. No, he said. That's how fear works. Keleth frowned. My empire ruled for thousands of cycles, she said. Through fear. And now? Ethan asked. Silence answered him. Keleth looked away. Now it is breaking, she admitted quietly. Ethan let the words settle. You think your value is your body, he said. Your genes, your future offspring. Keleth's jaw tightened. That is what I was taught, she said. Ethan stepped closer, his voice still calm. And if that were taken from you? He asked. If you were used and discarded? Keleth's Eyes flashed. Then I would be nothing, she said. Ethan stopped. No, he said firmly. You would still be you. Keleth stared at him. That answer did not fit anything she knew. A small alarm beeped softly. One of the guards spoke through. Commander, the council is ready. They want your decision, Ethan nodded. Tell them I'm coming. He turned back to Keleth. The council will decide what happens next, he said. Some of them want you handed over to science teams. Keleth stiffened. And you? She asked. Ethan met her gaze. I haven't decided yet, he said. Honestly, Keleth hesitated. Then she spoke again, slower this time. My people believed humans were dangerous because you adapt, she said. Because you change. Ethan waited. But now I see, she continued. You are dangerous because you question. Ethan gave a small smile. That's how we survived, he said. He turned to leave, then paused. Keleth, he said. She looked at him. You said sparing you would make humanity dangerous, he said. To the galaxy, Keleth nodded. Yes. Ethan's voice lowered. What if sparing you changes you instead? Keleth had no answer. The door slid shut behind him, alone again. Keleth sat still, staring at the floor. For the first time in her life, she was not valued for her strength. She was valued because someone chose to listen, and that frightened her more than any execution ever could. Far away, deep in alien space, sensors lit up. Human signals were spreading, and the galaxy was beginning to notice. The council chamber was silent, but not calm. A wide circular room stretched high above the human command ship. Holographic stars slowly moved across the ceiling, showing the borders of human space and the territories beyond. Around a large metal table sat the leaders of humanity, admirals, scientists, diplomats, and military commanders. At the center of the room stood Commander Ethan Hull. A single image floated before everyone. Keleth's genetic scan. This is not theory, said Dr. Lin, the lead geneticist. Her biology adapts faster than anything we've seen. 1 generation with her traits could change human survival forever. A murmur spread through the room. Admiral Cross leaned forward. Or destroy us, he said. We don't understand her kind. Keeping her alive is already a risk. She is a prisoner of war, a diplomat replied, not a resource. Admiral Cross snorted. Everything in war's a resource. Ethan listened without speaking. Dr. Lin continued. Her species was engineered. They don't just pass traits, they refine them. Strength, intelligence, resistance. She wasn't exaggerating. Several council members exchanged uneasy looks. So we use her? One asked quietly. No, said another. We protect her. The room split. Finally, all eyes turned to Ethan. You were the one who spared her, the council chair said. Why? Ethan took a breath. She didn't beg out of fear, he said. She offered value because that's the only language her empire taught her. And that makes her dangerous, Admiral Cross replied. Yes, Ethan said calmly. But not for the reason you think. He activated a new hologram. A recording began to play. Keleth's voice from her cell. In my empire, mercy does not exist, only use. Or death. Ethan paused the recording. That is not a threat, he said. That is a warning. Silence followed. If we use her, Ethan continued, we prove her empire right. That power is all that matters. That mercy is weakness. Dr. Lin frowned. Commander, with respect, morality won't save us from extinction. Ethan nodded. True, but neither will become in what we fight. Admiral Cross stood up. This galaxy is brutal, he said. If we hesitate, others won't. Ethan met his eyes. And if we don't hesitate, he said, then what makes us human? The room went quiet. After a long moment, the council chair spoke. We need time. Until then, the alien remains in containment. Ethan nodded. Agreed. Keleth sensed the change before anyone spoke to her. The guards outside her cell had doubled. New sensors hummed softly in the walls. The air felt heavier, as if the ship itself was watching her. She stood slowly, hands relaxed at her sides. Moments later, Ethan entered, this time with 2 officers behind him. The council is divided, Ethan said honestly. Keleth studied his face. That means my life hangs by a number, she replied. Yes, Ethan said. Votes. She gave a short, humorless breath. How strange. My people decide lives by strength. Ethan gestured for the others to stay back. Tell me something, he said. Why didn't you lie more? You could have promised anything. Keleth looked away. Because lies are useless once chains are on, she said. Truth lasts longer. Ethan nodded slowly. There are people who want to use you, he said. There are people who want to kill you, and you? Keleth asked. Ethan met her gaze. I want to understand you. That answer confused her. My empire would call that weakness, she said. Ethan smiled faintly. They'd be wrong. Keleth stepped closer to the barrier. If I am spared, she said, my empire will not forgive it. They will see it as theft. Ethan's expression hardened slightly. Let them. Keleth's eyes widened. You would risk war? She asked. We already are at war, Ethan replied. The question is how we fight it. Keleth was silent for a long moment. Then for the first time, her voice lowered, not as a warrior, but as something closer to a person. If you show mercy, she said, you will change more than me. Ethan nodded. That's the point. An alarm suddenly sounded, sharp and urgent. A voice echoed through the chamber. Commander, unknown alien fleet detected. Long range. They're broadcasting. Ethan turned sharply. On screen, a hologram appeared. Alien symbols filled the air. Keleth recognized them instantly. Her empire. Her fists clenched. They know, she whispered. Ethan looked at her. Know what? That I am alive, she said. And that you spared me. The alien message translated automatically. Return what is ours, it said. Or be corrected. Ethan stared at the message, then slowly turned back to Keleth. They're not asking, he said. No, Keleth replied. They never do. Ethan straightened, calm as ever. Then neither will we. Keleth looked at him. Something new forming behind her eyes. Not fear, not obedience. Respect. For the first time in her life, someone was willing to stand beside her, not because she was powerful, but because she was chosen. The alien fleet did not slow down. On the main bridge of the human command ship, red warning lights pulsed softly. Holographic displays showed dozens of hostile vessels dropping out of faster-than-light travel. They formed a sharp, aggressive pattern, one meant to intimidate. They're inside our warning range, a navigation officer said. Weapons charging. Commander Ethan Hyle stood still at the center of the bridge. No return fire, he ordered. Several heads turned. Sir? An officer asked. They're locking on. I know, Ethan said calmly. Hold position. Across the ship, Keleth felt it. The low vibration of engines, the subtle shift in gravity. Her body recognized battle before her mind did. She stood in her containment chamber, staring at the transparent barrier. Her empire had come, not to rescue her, to reclaim her. The door slid open behind her. Ethan entered alone again. You should stay seated, he said. Keleth turned slowly. They will not negotiate, she replied. You know that. I know, Ethan said. She studied him closely. Then why do you not strike first? She asked. Ethan crossed his arms. Because they expect that. Keleth frowned. That is not weakness to them. That is insult. Ethan nodded once. Good. A deep rumble shook the ship. One of the alien vessels fired a warning blast into empty space close enough to be felt. Keleth flinched. That was a test, she said. Next will not miss. Ethan tapped his comm. Status. Shields holding, came the reply. But they're stronger than our projections. Ethan looked back at Keleth. They want you, he said. Alive. Yes, she answered. But not free. Another blast rocked the ship, harder this time. A message cut through all channels. The alien voice was cold, metallic, and absolute. Return the asset. Mercy will be corrected. Keleth closed her eyes for a brief moment. That is their final offer, she said. Ethan opened a channel. This is Commander Ethan Hawley of the United Human Fleet, he said clearly. The individual you refer to is under our protection. There was a pause. Then the alien reply came, sharper than before. You do not protect what you do not own. Ethan answered without raising his voice. She is not owned. Silence followed. Keleth opened her eyes slowly. Her heart pounded. No one had ever said those words about her. The alien fleet responded by firing. This time, directly. Human shields flared bright blue, absorbing the impact. Consoles sparked. Officers shouted reports. Shields at 70%. Ethan did not move. Return fire? Someone asked urgently. No, Ethan said. Pattern defense only. Keleth stared at him in disbelief. You will lose ships. She said. Lives, Ethan met her gaze. Maybe. She clenched her fists. My empire will not stop. Ethan nodded. Then neither will we. He turned to the com. Initiate Project Sentinel. Keleth's eyes widened. You hid forces? Ethan allowed a small smile. We always do. Outside, space shifted. Human vessels that had appeared scattered suddenly moved with perfect coordination. Defensive platforms unfolded from stealth mode. Drones swarmed not to attack, but to block, redirect, and shield. The alien fleet fired again and again, but their shots were slowed, bent, absorbed. They were not being defeated, they were being contained. Keleth watched the display in silence. This is restraint, Ethan said. Not surrender. The alien command ship sent another message, less confident now. You waste power. Ethan replied instantly. No. He said. We save it. Minutes passed. The alien fleet stopped firing. For the first time they hesitated. Keleth felt something twist inside her chest. Her empire had never hesitated before. They don't understand this, she whispered. Ethan nodded. That's why it works. The alien message came again, different this time. Release the asset, or escalation will follow. Ethan turned to Keleth. This is where you choose, he said. She looked at him sharply. Choose what? You can walk back to them, he said. When this now? Keleth stared at the floor. All her life, choice had been an illusion. She lifted her head. And if I stay? She asked. Ethan answered without pause. Then we stand with you. Keleth's breath caught. Slowly, she stepped away from the barrier toward Ethan. I stay, she said. Ethan turned back to the channel. She has chosen, he said clearly. Stand down. The alien fleet did not respond, but they did not fire either. Minutes stretched into silence. Finally, the alien ships began to retreat slowly, carefully, as if unsure. Keleth watched them go. They will return, she said. Ethan nodded. We'll be ready. Keleth looked at him, really looked. You risked war, she said. For mercy. Ethan shrugged slightly. No, for choice. Keleth felt something unfamiliar rise inside her. Not fear, not duty. Hope. And somewhere in the galaxy, the story began to spread. Humans had faced the Empire, and instead of crushing it, they had refused to become it. The alien fleet's retreat did not bring peace. It brought attention. Across the galaxy, listening stations recorded the encounter. Traitors whispered about it. Mercenary networks replayed fragments of battle data again and again. One truth spread faster than any signal. Humans had faced the Empire and did not break. On the human command ship, The bridge was quiet but tense. "They're pulling back to the outer edge," a sensor officer reported. "No weapons charging." "Ethan." Hale stood with his hands behind his back, eyes fixed on the star map. "They're watching," he said. "Yes, sir," the officer replied. "And so is everyone else." Keleth stood a few steps behind Ethan, no longer confined to her chamber. She was still guarded, but the restraints were gone. That alone felt unreal. Her people would call this a trick, but it wasn't. "They will not forget this," Keleth said softly. "My empire does not retreat without reason." Ethan nodded. "Neither do we." Far away, in the heart of the alien empire, the reaction was very different. The high command chamber erupted in anger. A towering alien commander slammed his claws into the floor. "They defied us," he roared, "over one asset." Another voice answered, calmer but colder. "Not an asset," it said. "A symbol." Screens showed the battle again, human ships holding position, refusing to strike, refusing to fall. "They chose restraint," a strategist said. "And it worked," the commander snarled. "Then we crush them harder next time," a smaller voice spoke from the shadows. "Or we learn why restraint made us hesitate." Silence followed. That word hesitate had no place in the empire. And yet, it had happened. Back on the human ship, Kella felt the change in the air. Humans moved with purpose, not fear. Ships repositioned. Defensive lines formed, not to attack, but to protect trade routes, civilian worlds, and neutral space. "You are preparing for war," Kella said. Ethan glanced at her. "We're preparing for pressure." She tilted her head. "There is a difference?" "For us," he replied, "yes." Khalith studied him. "My people believe strength is proven by what you destroy," she said. "You prove it by what you defend." Ethan allowed a small smile. "That's one way to put it." A communication officer stepped forward. "Commander." "Incoming requests. Multiple systems. Neutral worlds." Ethan frowned slightly. "Requests for what?" The officer hesitated. "Protection. Alliance talks. Observation rights." Caleth's eyes widened. "They are choosing you," she said. Ethan looked at the growing list of signals. "They're choosing stability. That makes you a threat," Caleth warned. Ethan nodded. "We know." Not everyone agreed. Within the Human Council, tensions rose again. "They're coming to us because they think we're safe," Admiral Cross said. "That paints a target on our backs." "And walking away paints one too," replied a diplomat. "The galaxy already saw us stand." Dr. Lin leaned forward. "There's another factor," she said. All eyes turned to her. "Keleth," Lin continued. "She's become visible." Keleth stood still as the word sank in. "Visible?" Ethan asked. "The Empire won't just want her back," Lin sighed. "They'll want to make an example of her. To erase the idea of choice." Keleth's fists tightened. "I expected this," she said quietly. "Mercy is dangerous to those who rule through fear." Ethan looked at her. "You regret staying?" Keleth shook her head. "No," she said. "For the first time, I am more than what they made me." That answer silenced the room. That night, Keleth stood at an observation window, staring into the stars. Ethan joined her. "They'll test us again," she said. "Soon," Ethan nodded. "Yes. You could still send me away," she said. "End this pressure." But Ethan didn't answer immediately. "When we spared you," he said, "we didn't just challenge the Empire." He looked at her. "We challenged the galaxy's rules." Keleth turned to him. "And what if those rules push back?" Ethan met her gaze. "Then we push smarter." Keleth felt something shift inside her. Her empire believed power was taken. Humans believed power was chosen. A warning alarm sounded softly, not an attack, but a broadcast. Multiple systems were speaking at once. A traitor world pledged support. Neutral Council requested talks. Even a minor alien faction sent a single message: If mercy is real, teach us. Caleth's breath caught. They are listening, she whispered. Ethan watched the signal scroll by. Yes, he said. And once people listen, they start to think. Caleth realized the truth, then. The Empire's greatest fear was not human weapons, it was human ideas. Ideas that spread. Ideas that survived. Ideas that could not be chained. Far away, alien fleets began to move again, not all toward humans. Some turned inward, toward their own rulers, and for the first time in her life, Caleth understood. Mercy had not made humans weak. It had made the galaxy unstable, and that was far more powerful. The first strike did not come from the front. It came from the dark. Human early warning stations went silent one by one along the outer trade lanes. No explosions, no debris, just sudden absence. Ships vanished from sensors, as if space itself had swallowed them. On the command bridge, alarms whispered instead of screamed. Commander, a technician said, voice tight. We're losing signal. From Station 9 and 11. And 12 just went dark. Ethan Hawley did not raise his voice. Pattern? He asked. Yes, the officer replied. Stealth insertion. Precision hits. They're avoiding civilians. Caleth felt her blood run cold. That is not a raid, she said quietly. That is a message, Ethan nodded. They want us afraid. In the depths of alien space, the Empire watched. Not with rage this time, but calculation. The humans spread ideas, said one strategist. So we cut their voice. Screens showed trade routes collapsing, neutral worlds panicking, and whispers turning into fear. They protect, said another commander. So we strike what they defend. The High Command gave a single order. Break their image. Back on the human ship, the Council convened again, this time with no shouting. Maps showed damage, not devastation. The Empire was careful. They're testing us, Admiral Cross said. Pushing us to overreact. Dr. Lin nodded. If we respond with full force, we confirm their story, that mercy was a lie. All eyes turned to Ethan. Caleth stood beside him, silent but tense. They're attacking our reputation, Ethan said. Not our fleets. And it's working, Cross replied. Worlds are scared. Ethan took a slow breath. Then we do what they can't, he said. We stay visible. The order shocked everyone. Human fleets moved, but not to hunt. They spread out. Convoys escorted refugees. Repair ships restored stations under fire. Human pilots broadcast live feeds as they worked. Unarmed, exposed, calm. Caleth watched the screens in disbelief. You show yourselves? She asked. During attack? Yes, Ethan replied. Fear grows in shadows. A report came in. Commander, one of our convoys is under direct threat. Ethan nodded. Route the nearest fleet. Defensive posture only. Caleth clenched her fists. They will exploit this. Ethan looked at her. Let them try. The Empire did. An alien strike group emerged near a human relief convoy, powerful, fast, deadly. Caleth recognized the formation. They expect you to flee, she said. Or strike first. FN opened a channel. This is the United Human Fleet, he said. We are escorting civilians. Stand down. The alien commander responded instantly. You protect weakness, Ethan answered calmly. Yes. The alien ships advanced. Human vessels did not retreat. They moved between the convoy and the attackers, shields raised. Weapons cold, the first. Alien volley struck. Human shields held. No return fire. Confusion rippled through the alien formation. They're not firing. One alien officer hissed. Again, the commander ordered. Another strike. Still no human attack. Caleth stared. This should not work, she whispered. Ethan replied quietly. Fear expects mirrors. Finally, the alien commander broadcast again, angrier now. Fight. Ethan's reply was simple. No. Silence followed. Then something unexpected happened. One alien ship broke formation. Then another. They pulled back, not defeated. Unwilling. Across the galaxy. The feed spread. Humans standing in open space, shielding the weak, refusing to strike even. When provoked, the message was impossible to twist. Empire could destroy worlds, but it could not control meaning. Keleth felt her chest tighten. My people do not know how to fight this, she said. Ethan nodded. That's because it's not a war for territory. In the Empire, cracks began to show. Lower commanders questioned orders. Trade partners hesitated. One faction sent a quiet message, not to the Empire, but to human space. We wish to observe. Another message followed. We wish to defect. Keleth closed her eyes. They are choosing, she whispered. Yes, Ethan said. Just like you did. That night, Keleth stood alone, staring at the stars. Ethan joined her. They will try something worse, she said. My rulers will not accept this loss. Ethan nodded. I know. You could still end it, she said. Give them me. Ethan shook his head. No, he said firmly. Because then fear wins. Keleth looked at him. You are changing the galaxy, she said. And you are doing it without conquering a single world. Ethan met her gaze. We're just reminding it, he said, that strength isn't the same as cruelty. Far away, the Empire prepared its final move, not against fleets, not against worlds, but against an idea, and it was about to learn the most dangerous truth of all. You cannot kill what people choose to believe. The Empire's final move did not come with fleets. It came with silence. Across the border regions, alien signals stopped. No threats, no warnings, trade lanes emptied. Even pirates went quiet, as if the galaxy was holding its breath on the human. Command ship, sensors searched the dark. They've gone still, a technician reported. No movement, no broadcasts. Ethan Hawley stood at the viewport, hands clasped behind his back. That's not peace, he said. That's fear thinking. Keleth stood beside him. She felt it too, the tension before something breaks. They will try to erase the idea, she said. Not attack it, Ethan nodded. Then we won't give them a target. The Empire's message finally arrived, short, cold, and public. Keleth of the Ninth Brood is declared void. Any who shelter voided assets share their fate. Keleth. Read it twice. They have unmade me, she said quietly. In my empire, that means I never existed. Ethan looked at her. Then they're wrong. He turned to the broadcast this. He ordered. Human channels opened across the galaxy, civilian trade, neutral, and even enemy frequencies. Ethan's voice was calm and clear. This is Commander Ethan Hawley. The Empire has declared. A person void. We reject that claim. A pause. Keleth lives under our protection, not as property, not as leverage, but as a free being who chose to stand with us. The message spread. Worlds listened. Keleth felt her chest tighten. No one had ever spoken her name like that, openly, without fear. The Empire responded the only way it knew how. An execution force emerged fast. Focused, aimed directly at the human ship. They're coming for me, Keleth said. This ends today. Ethan turned to her. It ends the way it began, with a choice. He tapped the All ships, defensive ring. No pursuit, no first strike. The human fleet moved clean lines, steady hands. The alien force advanced. Weapons hot. This is your last warning, the alien commander broadcast. Release the voided asset. Ethan answered, no. The alien ships fired. Human shields rose. The exchange was brief and different. Human ships absorbed, redirected, blocked. They did not chase. They did not counterattack. They protected the space around them. Nothing more. Confusion spread through the alien formation. They're not escalating. An alien officer hissed. They're not obeying, another replied. The alien commander hesitated. That hesitation spread. Keleth watched. Breath held. This is where they fail, she whispered. They don't know how to finish without cruelty. The alien force pulled back again, not defeated. Exposed. Across the galaxy. Something shifted. A neutral council issued a statement recognizing human protection zones. Trade guilds rerouted through human space. Minor alien faction publicly broke from the Empire, citing irreconcilable values. Keleth stared at the messages. They are choosing you, she said. Ethan shook his head. They're choosing themselves. Days later, the Empire sent one last message, private this time. It was not a threat. It was a question. What do you want? Ethan read it once, then replied. We want what you took from your own people, he said. Choice. There was no immediate answer. When it came, it was simple. Then we cannot win. The war did not end with a treaty. It ended with a change. The Empire withdrew to its core. Internal conflicts rose. Old rulers lost control, not to humans, but to their own people, asking new questions. Keleth stood again at the observation window. The galaxy will remember this, she said, not as conquest. Ethan nodded, as permission. She turned to him. My offer, she said carefully. The one I made in chains. It came from fear. I know, Ethan replied. I no longer offer myself, she continued. I offer partnership on my terms. Ethan met her gaze and smiled. That's the only kind we accept. Keleth felt something settle inside her, solid, real. She was no longer a weapon. She was no longer an asset. She was a person who chose. Far away, children on neutral worlds watched recordings of human ships shielding convoys. Scholars rewrote definitions of strength. And the galaxy learned the most dangerous lesson of all. Power taken creates enemies. Power shared creates futures. Humanity did not rule the stars. They changed them. Not with fear, not with force, but with a single, stubborn idea that mercy, when chosen freely, is the strongest weapon there is.